This is pretty dang funny. If you end up agreeing, please consider liking and or subscribing. Helps the channel out, helps the stuff get out there. More people can see it and enjoy it, and of course helps me out too. And yeah.
I received a DM from a foreign reader scolding me, saying, there were people with dark skin in medieval and early modern Europe. Why is it not in your work? First of all, this board is not in Europe. Were there furriers or elves in medieval Europe? Also, there are usually brown-skinned characters. I wonder if I can understand the warmth of this area and my values if they were still on the western side. I wonder if I don't understand because I become so close to Japanese.
Okay, so if you don't know, that is actually the author of No Game, No Life. And Disboard is the name of the world where No Game, No Life takes place. And so it sounds like that Twitter cop DM'd him asking why there's not more dark-skinned characters in Disboard. Their argument was that dark-skinned people existed in medieval and early modern Europe. And so the mangaka Yu Kamiya points out that it's a really weird argument because one, Disboard isn't even in Europe. And two, even if it was, it's weird for the Twitter cop to hyper-focus on that point when No Game, No Life has elves, etc., which obviously didn't exist in Europe. Actually reminds me of a couple of years ago when there were a lot of Hollywood types talking about why voice actors should only voice act the same race as the actor or something, which is a take that a lot of Hollywood types use like frequently. We talked about it a couple months ago as well, but specifically it reminds me of a time it happened 2 years ago because Japanese people were responding to that stuff, and one person in a now like famous point said, so elf should play an elf, or something like that. It was like, we have a Ray Forest Games translation. It says, if the trend goes to, unless the role of an elf is played by an elf voice actor, it is discrimination against elves. It is a great opportunity for the elves who came to Earth to make a debut as a voice actor. Obviously immense sarcasm, but making a completely fair point. If all these bourgeoisie Hollywood elites and like voice actors and stuff want to say only the same race can play the same race, which by the way, they don't actually stand for that, as we saw with the example I cited moments ago, that Bleach voice actor. More on that in a moment though, but here's the point. As the Japanese gentleman is saying, if that's the take that all these bourgeoisie types want to use, then yeah, we need some real elves to suddenly like manifest into real life so that they can voice elf characters. And yeah, what about like fishmen? What about fishmen in One Piece? We need to get some fishmen in real life to voice those guys. So back on that Bleach thing real quick, if you're out of the loop on that one, this was such nonsense. That dude essentially stepped down from his role as Chad, saying that because he's white, he shouldn't voice a character that has Mexican heritage. And then people were like, so does that mean you're not going to voice Japanese characters either? And he came up with some immensely convoluted reason to try and justify why it's okay for him to voice Japanese characters. You know, the reality is if he stopped voicing Japanese characters too and only voice white characters, this dude probably never get a job again. As it stands right now, I don't know how often the dude even works, but you see the point on that. And so everyone was kind of like laughing at him for that, being like, yeah, you're full of it. It is a weird thing too. You'll notice time and time again, like some internet personalities or like public figures, when their careers really drying up, suddenly they really start virtue signaling a whole lot. But yeah, it's certainly because they genuinely care about these social issues, right? It's not because they're trying to look for work, trying to get buddy with some people or anything. So yeah, that's all there is for today. As mentioned, going to be extra brief and just post some positive and funny stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed the morning segment if you saw that one. And of course, I hope you enjoyed this one too. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, I'll see you there and in the next segment. Also, have a great rest of your Saturday.